to our new title of Global Authenticity TV. Last week we actually called it Authentic Global Conversations TV, and one of the things we notice is the conversation is going to continue all the time. And so we've just simply made it Global Authenticity, which is ultimately what this entire program is about. My name is Barry Patel from Australia, and I'd like to welcome my co-host from the USA, Norma Hollis. Welcome, Norma.
Thank you, Barry. Here we go again. Good to see you. Good to be with you again.
Thank you very much. Look, this is really an exciting process where we can just have a chat across the world with each other and share our ideas of authenticity. And one of the big things I notice is it doesn't matter where we are in the world, people are wanting more and more to be authentic.
You know, you're true. I see it everywhere here in the United States. I have people that are a part of my network from South Africa and other places, Israel, and all of them are talking about authenticity. It is so important, and it's just interesting how we become so inauthentic that we have to talk about being authentic.
Exactly. It's like the conversations game. It's like a shame that we've had to create a conversations game to have a conversation.
Right, exactly.
That's been missing for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about our new name of Global Authenticity. You've got any comments on that?
Well, you know, it's also the name of my foundation. I have a nonprofit called Global Authenticity Foundation. So to me, by calling it Global Authenticity TV, it's right in line with where both of us already are. And it just really speaks to what we're talking about. You know, you're Australia, I'm Los Angeles. It is global already, and it's just amazing that the need for authenticity is so global. So I think it speaks even more succinctly to what we're about than Authentic Conversations does. So I'm very thrilled with it.
Oh, terrific. Well, that's terrific. What I want to do today is really get straight into it, because we're going to keep these fairly short, and I want to look at where vision fits into this whole area of authenticity, and maybe we start with you with how you see vision fitting into this area.
Well, I definitely see it fitting in globally. I'm actually surprised that I am meeting so many people across the world who have the same objective and focus on on having a world and a life that is more authentic. So that's a vision that we all collectively share, and I think it's a vision that relates to people and honoring and valuing people in a higher degree than what we seem to on the planet in many cases now. I often look at authenticity. My vision has to do with the common good, that we focus on us creating a society where it's more collaboration, more partnership, more brotherhood, more relationship, more as much interest on the spirit of the individual as it is on how much money is in an individual's pocket. Money is something we can't take with us. Spirit are things that are, far more valuable. And so to me, the vision is bringing back the meaning and the value in life, and that meaning as it's connected to being human.
Well, look, that's awesome. Look, value is such an important part. And in actual fact, in my own business, my original business name is called iPower, which is a vision improvement business for seeing physically with eyesight.
Right, good. Uh-huh.
And in my own case, I actually had like really thick lenses, and in 6 months passed the driver's license with 20/20 vision.
Wow.
And
so,
what for me was that after that, that's actually when I really started looking at moving from just eyesight into vision.
Interesting.
And vision to me is far bigger than just how we physically see. And it is those values that you were talking about.
Yes.
And particularly for me, those spiritual values from a higher level. So
yes.
For me, when I look at vision first of all from a higher spiritual level that has to include both my own growth, my own changes, and how I'm going to support the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting.
And then I take that into a mindset stuff. No, you're right. Go for it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that because I never connect. I seldom connect the vision that I talked about, meaning the forward thinking and how the future looks, to the vision in the eyes and the eyesight. And it is so true. We really don't even know, I don't hear much about what vision truly means, what it means looking out of your eyes versus out of my eyes, how the vision is different. And that speaks so much to how we all see vision differently. But what's so interesting is that as we talk about authentic vision, and vision relates to authenticity, it sounds like people that I've talked to, you and I and others across the world, we see it very similarly. We see it very much, very much the same.
Yeah.
It's all about people. Don't you think?
The statement I used to use is, the clearer we see ourselves, the clearer we see the world.
Oh, I love that.
And so when people have their own vision,
yes,
their eyesight just improves naturally. The two are actually connected.
Well, that's interesting because my authenticity angle is all about self-mastery and knowing yourself. So and I really hadn't connected that in the same way, but you're absolutely true. The more you know yourself, the more you can step into your own authenticity, the greater your vision is of yourself, of the world, of all the things that are important to you. I like that, Barry. That's good. Yeah, you got good stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the last part, and I'm really interested from your side as well, because I'm learning just as much sitting here listening to you already. So the last part, I guess, is that we have this sort of spiritual vision that we find, and as I said, it has to be part of self and of service to the world.
Yes.
It's, to me, very important that we ground that into a practical component of what does that mean tomorrow when I get out of bed. And I just want to know your thoughts on that, on what does that look like? So for me, it's about, being really clear on what our talents and abilities and what our passion is, and really following that passion and using that to create a livelihood.
Right. And, it's interesting. It's in my view of people over the years, I find that people seem to be in one of two camps. Either you have those that are in the camp that are highly spiritual and very focused on the common good and helping everybody else out, others out. And then you have those that are very entrenched in the camp that says money's everything and, that's what it's all about. And it just interests me that it intrigues me that it just seems to be two opposite ends and that you seldom meet energies, people, organizations that are balanced with both energies. And to me, that's when true authenticity comes in, when you bring both sides to meet in the middle. Now, sometimes you meet in the middle by associating and bringing into your space people who bring you that balance, because sometimes we can't get it on our own. I know, like for me, you talk about spiritual versus, practical, and I've always been very heavy on the spiritual side, that I'm practical too, but sometimes it's hard to blend the two. So that to me is one of the greatest challenges I think we have on the planet, because people who are more practical, helping them be spiritual, and those that are more spiritual, helping them to be practical, because the planet requires both.
I totally agree, and I've actually referred to myself these days as an intuitive entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so what I'm trying to do is have people get in touch with their spirit, their intuition, and combine that with entrepreneurial and, clever business skills, and not just follow what everyone else is doing, but do what's really authentic for them.
Right. And I'm the same thing I do, absolutely, because that really is what makes a difference. That's the difference in peace in life and versus just getting a job. And my background, my first career was early childhood. That's what my degree is in. So I also like to help parents recognize their children's gifts and talents while their children are early, and then raise the children based on their natural gifts and talents. It just makes so much sense and would make life so much easier for the children and the parents too, actually. Don't you think? I don't know if you have children, Barry, or how you have approached that, but that's been my experience.
Well, our children have always been, I really encourage them to follow their passion.
Yes. Rather
than just to go and get a job. And the two may be connected, but if they can follow their passion, then the right job will open up for them.
And not always job, it could be experience. Right. It could be entrepreneurial, it could just be experience, right, or solopreneur or something, but because we have to think outside of just jobs these days, in terms of really being authentic, because they're not as guaranteed as they used to be.
I had one person I worked with, and his passion was helping kids in a go-kart. He had a job that supported a go-kart track, which is like a little mini I don't know what you call it in America. It's like a little racing car track.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Oh, like a go-kart, like go-karts. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And that was his passion. And he was making such a difference in the world with these kids on the weekends.
Yes.
And he had a job during the week to pay the bills and do that. But his real life's purpose was what he did on the weekend.
Well, that's what all of us, that's what Optimus is all about, is doing what you love. And the luckiest people are able to do it in terms of how they earn their income. Others have to do it as a hobby, but the main thing is to do it because that's the essence of who you are. That's where your authenticity lies.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And when you can be authentic like that, that to me is when life starts opening up for you. And, you know, we've both had experience in the last few weeks where experiences are opening up for each other.
Yes.
Because we're actually doing what we love.
It does make a difference, and it just feels good too, you know.
It feels really good, doesn't it?
So yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Boy, time goes by fast. We're almost at our time, aren't we? Yes.
Just to finish up,
yes.
I was just wondering if there was one tip that you would like to give people in terms of finding and searching their vision, and you know, people who don't know what their vision is.
Well, I would ask you
what of actually doing that.
Yeah, what makes your heart beat fast? What makes you excited? What's the thing that you can't wait to do or to learn about or to grow with? That gives you a sense of where your passion lies. You can also think back to the things that you did naturally and loved to do before you were the age of 8 years old, especially the things you did before you started kindergarten. And these are all clues to where your true passion lies. And then ask yourself how often you do those things now. And if there's a big gap between those, then there's some work for you to do to step into your authenticity and step into I call that your joy point, once you really find your authenticity. So that would be my suggestion, to examine what really makes you passionate, what really gives you joy, and ask yourself how much you're doing it, and then how you can do more of it, because that helps you be more authentic. What about you, Barry? What's your tip?
Wonderful.
Cool.
Well, that is just so wonderful. I'm taking notes, I think, after this. My biggest tip is to once you find, you know, what makes you tick and what's exciting, is to think outside the box of how you could make that and turn that into part of your livelihood.
Yes.
So for a lot of healers, they seem to think, you know, their role is to set up a shingle and become a healer and have clients. But it may be just simply to go into an organisation and just be a light in that organisation and make a change just by being who they are.
That's true.
So it's about being creative of how we share our light with each other.
And the key of what you said is being who you are. That's the key for all of it. So that's cool.
That's awesome. Look, that is so great. Look, your website, Norma, just to finish up.
NormaHollis.com. NormaHollis.com. Yours?
We've got BarryOckertell.com as well. So it's BarryAuchetL.com.
All right.
And you've been listening to Global Authenticity with Barry Ockertell and Norma Hollis. And we're looking forward to spending more time with you next week. Thanks, Norma, and thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Barry. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.